Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here at the Wild Card in Hollywood, California, being joined with Freddie Roach, where we will be speaking on a variety of boxing topics that have been happening in the world of boxing in the last few weeks. First off, Freddie, congratulations. Another win in the books with Miguel Cotto. Went up against a very tough Yoshihiro Kamagai. From what I saw, Kamagai really put the pressure on him, and he made him earn the money because it was a tough fight.
It was a tough fight. I mean, the thing is, this guy ran across the ring to get to my guy and just put a lot of pressure on him. We had a really good game plan. Going into the fight, I told Miguel, I said, you're going to be the counterpuncher in this fight. This guy's going to rush you. He get you on the ropes. You can't stay on the ropes. After the combination, get under and out. And he pulled it off really, really well. He fought a really good fight. I thought he pitched a shutout, and one judge had shut out, so it was a great performance for us.
In terms of how he is body-wise, with him being a little bit older now, did he feel the age at all, or did he see any rust in there, or did he tell you that, or did you notice any rust in Miguel?
Well, the rust, I think, came from his long layoff. It's been a while since we had fought, and it was a little bit slow in coming, the game plan, because he was staying on the ropes a little bit too much. He was getting beat up a little bit in the gym too much. A couple black eyes, a couple mouses here and there and stuff, you know. And so I wasn't really happy with things early in training camp, but as the camp progressed and as it went on, it got better and better. And then about 5 days before the fight, I was just watching. I said, he's got it. He knows what I want him to do now. He's not going to stay on the ropes. He won't get caught there, and he'll land this. He'll catch this guy coming in and walking. He's so aggressive. Walking him into punches with the angles and so forth work really, really well. Left hands and right hands both. And I was really worried about his hands though more than anything, because he's teeing off on this guy, and I mean, this guy's taking every shot there is. And I thought his left hand was a little bit sore, but no breaks, so everything's good.
When I'm going like this because when I saw the fight, the first thought was like, Jesus, how is this guy taking so many punches? And I'm like, dang, Kamagai has a really big head. And I'm like, well, maybe that's why he's able to absorb all the punches. But did Miguel ever tell you at one point, like, geez, man, like, I'm not going to be able to put this guy out. I'm just going to box from this point on?
You know, Miguel is a real professional. He listens to what I have to say in the corner. He takes that in. He doesn't speak back to me. He says, I'll do what you say. And I mean, that's, he trusts me, and I did have a good game plan, and it worked out really well, I thought. And I'm very proud of him for carrying that performance out. I think it was one of his best fights of his career. I mean, the guy was very, very tough, yes. And, you know, you can watch earlier fights with Kamagai in them, and he fights very similar, and he's a very durable guy. I mean, but I thought Miguel was a big enough puncher to get him out of there, but this guy was just so tough. And then, like, you know, I didn't expect him to show up at the press conference after the fight. I thought he'd be in the ambulance going to the hospital. You know, and this guy didn't even go to the hospital after the fight. He's fine. I see him at the press conference the next day, and he went up and said hi to me, you know. So, I mean, my hat off to him. He fought a brave, brave fight. But maybe I hope someday he learns a little more defense.
In terms of the future, I know that there's been mention of maybe Miguel facing against GENNADY and Canelo, the winner of that fight. What did he mention to you in terms of that? Did he say that he was interested, or he's not really sure about moving up another weight class?
I've had people talk to me about it, and the thing is, I can't bring it up during training camp when we're getting ready for another fighter. So the thing is, I wouldn't speak about that till after the fight. So we have spoke about it a little bit. We're both invited to the fight, and HBO has made a nice offer for both of us to go, and I intend on going, and I think Miguel intends on going. And unusual, but I think he does. I think we're going to go to a fight. I don't think we're going to get up in the ring and call anyone out or anything like that. But I'm interested in seeing how the fight goes. I would like to have a rematch with Canelo, because I thought we beat him the first time, and I think he owes us at least that. And Triple G, he's a bigger guy and stuff. I'm not so sure if we want to go up to that higher weight class, and but it would be a great way to end a career. Can he win that fight? I believe so, but the thing is, I don't think he's invincible, but I think he's very good though, and I do favor him in the fight between the two. Yes, I think Triple G is maybe one of the best fighters in the world.
You know, there was a tweet the other day from Mikey Garcia. It said that he's been willing to move up from 140 to 47 to 54 to fight Miguel. What'd you make of that? What does Miguel make of that?
Well, the first time Mikey Garcia comes into mind is that him and his brother come to my gym and challenge Manny Pacquiao. So, and now they're challenging my other fighter, Miguel Cotto, and I says, yeah, that sounds good. I like that fight. I said, I think he's a little bit too small, but he's a tough kid. He comes forward. He likes to fight. It'd be an action fight. I think Miguel would handle him pretty easily. But again, it's probably an exciting fight, because whenever you get a Puerto Rican and a Mexican together, it's going to be some fireworks. And Mike Garcia, you've got a lot of balls doing this. You're a brave guy. I think he's biting off more than he can chew. I would love to see that fight.
Why do you feel he's biting off more than he can chew? What do you see there that he can't hang with Miguel in what areas?
Well, he's just too small. I mean, he just moved up to 40 for the first time, and I mean, he's just not a very, very big person, and so forth. And like Miguel's, fighting that fight at 54, but the last couple of fights before that were at 60, of course. So I just think he's too small for Miguel, and Miguel should get to him. But obviously, there's other thoughts out there, like you think he might be a good fighter, it sounds like. But and it would be a good fight. I thought that Mikey Garcia was going to fight Lomachenko, and I think he has the right style to beat him. But I do like him in that fight, but I don't like him in my fight. I mean, I like Miguel a lot in that fight. I think he's just too big for him. And I'm sure there's people negotiating out there already, because.
Have you heard anything?
I just heard that he did challenge us. I do know that, yes, but I haven't heard about negotiations right now. And are they with the right people to put it together? And because in today's world, some promoters don't get along with others and so forth, and that's why the best aren't fighting the best at all times. But that's why I like the Triple G fight, because the best is fighting the best in that particular fight. That's why I'm so excited. I'm really excited about that fight.
Speaking of that fight again, is the winner of that fight a more interesting fight you feel for Miguel, or would it be Mikey? Like, what would be I don't want to say easier fight, but I guess a better fight overall when you take in all the factors?
I think I won't say they're better fighters than Mikey is, but I just size-wise, I just have trouble getting over it, because I think he was at 130 when he retired, and then when he came at 135, and then now 140, and he's slowly climbing up the ladder in weight division, and he's going to fight Miguel at like 54 or 60 or somewhere, in those weights. So maybe I'm just overthinking this a little bit, because the other two guys are big guys also, and by fight time they'll be really big in there also. And I think Mike Garcia, again, is a little bit smaller, but the thing is, the winner of the Triple G fight and so forth, it'd be, I did call it out in the ring, and I would like to see him fight one of those guys. I think it's a better fight to go out on.
In terms of, okay, go ahead.
No, it's just a better fight to go out on it for his final fight.
That fight is seen as a 50-50 fight, Gennady and Canelo. But for you, what do you think is going to make the biggest difference in the fight? Is it going to be Gennady's size, his power? Is it going to be Canelo's counterpunching and his quickness? Like, what really do you think is going to turn the tide of the fight?
First thought, he's too big and too big a puncher, Triple G. I think he's the better puncher of the two. He controls the ring really, really well. He has great ring generalship and so forth. But it depends a lot on what each one of them do. If he starts slow like he usually does and just kind of feels his guys out a little bit, and he's been able to do that in the past fights, and he might get caught. Yeah, because one punch can change things. I mean, you just look at Amir Khan. One punch can change a whole fight. I mean, he might have won 5 rounds, Amir Khan, and then one punch changed everything, right? And the thing is, I think that Triple G needs to start a little bit faster in this fight and not just like toy with him and try to feel him out, because this is a guy you don't want to feel out, because he can punch, and Triple G can punch also, and I would, if I was a trainer, I would like to see him be more aggressive and go after him right away. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I'm not in training camp with him, and I'm not at the training camp. I'm not sure where they're at weight-wise and so forth. The people tell me that Canelo's going to come in heavier than Triple G.
Jeez. He already comes in big. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Gennady weighs more than 175, I think, fight night.
Which is a high number, though. Yeah, I mean, it's a big number.
15 pounds overnight.
Now, can Mike Garcia fight them too?
That's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight. But you know, the thing is, in the world of boxing right now, we do have catch weights and so forth, and it's a legal negotiation to take care of your fighter and put him in, give them the best opportunity to win. This is why that's why we have catch weights nowadays, because it's a legal opportunity to make a guy like Miguel still maybe hates me a little bit for having the catch weight in the Pacquiao fight. All right, so he says, without the catch weight, you don't win that fight. And I just smile and just walk away. You know, and then, you know, but the thing is, it's my job to do what's best for my fighter. And that's what I will always do.
If that fight between Canelo and Golovkin, the night of a winner gets raised and it's either or, do you feel they're now the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, or do you feel it belongs to Lomachenko, Crawford, or Andre Ward?
I think Crawford is the best fighter pound-for-pound in the world today. He can box, he can move for 12 rounds, he can punch, he hurts everybody. In his last win, he fought the African fighter who's a really tough guy. I saw him win the title in Moscow, and he's just, you know, the biggest 160-pounder I've ever seen. He's just a big, strong guy. He trained here for 5 days before the fight, and I thought that if Crawford takes this guy lightly, he might be surprised. And he went right after him. Crawford, I mean, he went right after him and made the guy look ordinary with a body shot. So I think he might be the best fighter pound for pound in the world right now, but can he beat Triple G and those guys? Size-wise, different weight classes, and don't think that's going to happen. But
well, they want him to fight maybe Errol Spence down the line. A lot of people are hyping that up.
But they also want him to fight Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. I mean, do we fight at 40 or do we fight at 47? I'd like to see Manny go down to 40 for that fight, because Manny has much more firepower at 40 than he does at 47. But it's been a long time, and Manny's 38 years old, and he's like 22, and it's, competition-wise, it's getting to that point where it's very difficult to be in with the younger generations. And not to say Manny can't do it, but timing, they kind of waited for us to get older. And I'd rather see Manny fight the rematch with Horn and go on from there. And it could be him somewhere down the line. It could be any of those guys. But I do have my concerns because I do have to protect my fighter. And I still think it's my job to put him in the right fights. And I would hate to see like any of my fighters get hurt. And so I'm very careful about who we choose. But usually it's a good choice.
For now, our MMA fans that are watching as well, they're going to want an update on George. How'd you see him when he spent the week over here? How's he doing?
He's doing very well. You know, we worked on the stand-up game, and he's getting better and better all the time. He's a little bigger, a little stronger right now than he has been in the past because this fight's going to be a little higher weight class, so a little more weight on him, and he's punching a lot better, a lot more power. And he did really, really well in training camp. And I'm going to be heading up to Montreal pretty soon. And for 6 weeks, I'm going to spend 3 days a week in Montreal and 4 days here.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a first. That's the first time you've been able to go with him.
So he wants me in the corner. He wants me.
So finally, I think you're going to be in the corner, right?
He wants me in the ring in between rounds. And I says, I have no problem. I says, yeah. So he's doing really, really, really well. And, you know, he's in with a big, tough guy. And it should be action-packed. Should be fun. I'm excited. My first UFC fight. Because I don't hate either sport. I mean, the thing is, I just don't think they mix that well. But the thing is, I mean, I like combat sports. I like competition, and that's the way I see it. I mean,
a good fight's a good fight. You can't hate on a good fight, you know?
A lot of boxing people want me to hate MMA, though. Yeah. And I said, why? I said, you know, just like a good fight's a good fight. If you see it, it's good, and that's why I like to teach them stand-up, because usually the stand-up is the best part of the fight. But, you know, they have the submission holds and so forth, and they're all really good at that. And George's #1 thing is takedowns, and, I mean, he's very good at what he does. And I'm not going to say you're a great boxer, go out there and outbox this guy.
Yeah, I think that's the problem sometimes with a lot of the MMA fighters. They fall in love with
like
that.
Ronda Rousey, someone told her that she was a good boxer, and they lied to her. Why didn't she go back to what she normally does? I mean, she was very successful at that. And I said, look, she's not even going to the ground at all with these people, and that's what she's won all her fights on. I was very surprised that they took that route. But the thing is, with George, I won't make that mistake. And I know his boxing ability, and I know how far it can take him. And he's improved quite a bit. But again, it's not his #1 game, though.
Have you seen tape of Bisping? And if you have, what do you make of what he's shown so far in prior fights and the tape? I know he's been here before too as well at the wild card. So what do you say about all that?
He's a tough guy. I mean, he comes to fight. I don't think he's the best athlete in the world. I think George is a much better athlete, and I think that'll be the difference in the fight. His athleticism will take him through the fight better. But it's not going to be easy, though, that's for sure. And the first round I'm a little bit worried about, because George is always a little bit stiff in the first round. And then he gets into the fight as the rounds go on and so forth. So early, I'm a little bit worried about. I'm going to warm up really good in the dressing room and go through their routines of what the UFC fighters have to do to go before they enter the ring.
When you look at him compared to when he went to you maybe 2-3 years ago, when he was on the fence about coming back, do you see a big change there in his attitude and his energy and his mentality?
Not a big change. He's always He's always known he wasn't done.
Yeah.
He wasn't satisfied. I know this because he trains every day of his life. Even during that time period that he was supposed to be maybe retired and so forth, he still trains every day of his life. No matter what he does the night before, if it's a night out with his wife, a girlfriend, or
like, don't get him in trouble, Freddie.
Yeah. The thing is, the next day, no matter what it was, he trains every day of his life. And I said, do you ever take a rest? Like, don't you get like a little bit maybe like bored, or just like maybe feel your body needs rest? No, he works every day. I mean, no matter what. And then when he's in training camp, now that all the rules go into play, there's no nothing. There's like, it's hard work and no fooling around and no drinking, no dancing, no girls, no boys, no nothing.
No, I remember reading an interview that he did in which he said that at times when he would get into camp, he'd become so obsessed with the opponent, it'd be like a hyper obsession. Like he'd always be thinking about it, that it would really hamper him a little bit going into fights. You ever seen that in play with not only him but other fighters, and what's a way to like alleviate that? Yeah,
the thing is, you just got to really talk to them and get inside their head and assure them that what the game plan is going to prevail and beat anything he can do. And I've seen it in boxing before, and I've seen guys, they get so absorbed in watching tapes of their opponents that, I mean, they basically like fall in love with the guy's style and so forth, and how can I beat that style and so forth. But then you got to sit down with him and watch it with him and explain to him the mistakes he's making and what factors will work well for you and what won't work for you. So it's just it's a mental game, and it's just part of sports, and just people get it very anxious in sports. I mean, they look forward to these moments and so forth, but sometimes I look forward to this moment, but what if I lose?
You can't think like that though, because right, it'll like.
But they have that doubt at some point in time, but that usually leaves early in training camp, and then as camp gets better and better, and things start clicking together, then everything comes into play.
On a final note, because the fight's so close to happening, who are you picking? Canelo, G? What round? Decision, split decision, knockout? What do you think is like the best way that the fight could end, in your opinion? And from your experience seeing that style go against that style.
I do like Triple G to win the fight, and I've made predictions before, but I like both these guys, so I'm really not going to say who. I mean, I don't. Whoever carries out the game plan is going to win this fight. I feel if Triple G starts quick and doesn't fool around and try to fill this guy out, I think he can knock him out early. But if he does do that, and on the other end, the Mexican boy can punch, and he has power, and he's dangerous at all times, and he likes to counter punch off the ropes a little bit. And Triple G's very good at controlling the ropes. Whoever pulls off the game plan is going to win this fight, and it should be a lot of fun. I'll be there live, and to all the fans, I think it's going to be a great night.
It is. Freddie, as always, thank you so much. It's great seeing you. Thank you so much for allowing us to come in here and talk to you. Freddie Roach, of course, here in Hollywood, California at his Wildcard Gym. I'm Marcos Villegas, thanking you all for watching us over here at Fight Up TV.